to Wanderlust Unpacked. I'm so happy you're here. Today we are talking about what I believe might be one of the most stressful parts about booking a trip. We are going to be talking today all about flights. Flights are wild and unpredictable because prices change constantly, at least here in the United States. Even as a travel advisor, prices still can surprise me. So this episode is just going to be a quick reminder about why you should always keep checking those flights, even though they may already have been booked. I'm going to start with a story. I am planning to go to Europe this summer, and I really didn't care where I was going in Europe. My brother and sister-in-law live in Ireland, and I wanted to get to Europe so we could take a vacation where they could meet us somewhere, and they were super open as well. So I typically use Google Flights or Kayak Explorer and look at the month I want to travel and what the cheapest flights are. I found an incredible flight to Portugal. I was so excited, but I wanted to ask my mom if she wanted to go, and I wanted to confirm with them before I booked it. I should have put that flight on hold, but I didn't. And the next day, that flight jumped $400. The same route, the same airline, just trying to book it a different day. Airlines use demand, timing, and algorithms to adjust their pricing constantly. In one moment, it could be one price, and an hour later, it literally could be an entirely different price. So if you're seeing a flight and you think it's a great price, book it. Put it on hold, book it, try to make sure it's refundable, and lock in that rate. Now I'm going to take you to a few weeks later when I was trying to book a trip to Puerto Rico because my friends are getting married there in June. I know what the typical prices are on JetBlue to fly to Puerto Rico from Massachusetts. I've done it before. I've looked at the prices before. I know what the price range is. It's usually $350 to maybe $500 maximum. I was looking, I was stressed. The flights were nearly $700 each, and I just decided to book it. I was like, maybe this is just a weird time. Maybe a lot of people are traveling to Puerto Rico. I don't want to be stuck in a situation where the flight goes up again, so I'm going to book it. I was thinking maybe it was school break, maybe it was the seasons, maybe it was events, whatever. I booked the flight to Puerto Rico, and recently, a few days ago, I just got a text from my friends who are getting married, and it was like, hey everybody, just remember to RSVP to the wedding and make sure to check your flights because they're dropping. I typically will go back and check my flights, but this was such a good reminder. So I went on and checked my flights with JetBlue to Puerto Rico. Instead of $1,400 for 2 tickets, ultimately, I saw the flights for $1,000 for 2 tickets. I thought, great. I always like to call the airline. So I called JetBlue just to make sure that I was going to get that travel credit, and I was. The woman on the phone told me, you just want to be mindful when you're canceling your flight that flight prices change all the time, which clearly I do know, which is honestly so frustrating. But I said, okay, I'm going to take the risk. I have that $1,000 flight already up on my page. It's going to be great. I'm going to do it. I go into my app. I cancel the flight. I go to the page I already had pulled up to try to book the flight, and it wouldn't let me book it. So I had to refresh the page. I was like, oh no, oh my goodness. But regardless, I knew there was no way the flight was going to be that $1,400 price I had paid. I refreshed the page, you all, that $1,000 flight for 2 tickets. I refreshed the page. It was $730 for 2 tickets, literally within 5 minutes. Within 5 minutes time, the flight price dropped $300, nearly $300. So I booked it. And now I have a $600 travel credit with JetBlue. So here's another reminder. If you already have a flight and you're thinking, you know what, I don't think that was the best deal I could have gotten on the flight, track it. Make sure that you're continuously tracking the flight because you might end up being in a situation like this where you end up with a travel credit. And now look, I can take another trip to the Caribbean and not have to worry about the flight. I mean, really, I could go anywhere, but the Caribbean is typically where I go. So this is just a really good reminder. I've also heard tricks specifically on Southwest to book flights one way each way so that you can look at the flights separately for price changes. I don't get into all of that personally, but this is just a reminder to keep an eye out on the flight because you never know. Some flights are so expensive and others aren't. My last story for this episode is that this winter, unfortunately, I had to cancel a trip to Ibiza, Spain from Boston. I was very, very bummed, but I wasn't feeling well. My kids weren't feeling well. My parents were going to watch the kids and they weren't feeling well either. So I told Kevin, just go on the airplane and go by yourself and have the best time ever. I canceled that trip. I ended up with a flight credit. This flight was very expensive because it was over New Year's for $1,200. I booked 3 trips using that flight credit. I booked myself and Kevin two round trip tickets to Colombia for a spring. And I just nearly paid for my entire trip to my upcoming trip to Turks and Caicos with that flight credit. So with one flight credit, I booked nearly 3 full round trip tickets. So this is just a reminder, whether you're using Google Flights or Kayak or Hopper, check flights on different days and times. Make sure that if you are seeing a price that you think is a really, really good price, to hold that price. Whether you're holding it for that 24 hours or you're just booking it and you know that you can get credit or it's refundable, make sure that you're doing it because if you're comfortable with the price, you don't want to lose it. Prices will go up and down. There are no guarantees. Make sure to work with a travel advisor who will watch these trends for you. Maybe will give you tips and tricks about rebooking if you need to. Flights are unpredictable and knowledge is power. So I just want to encourage you to keep checking the prices and be flexible. If this message resonates with you or you know someone that's booking a trip like right now, send them over this podcast and hopefully it will help. Until next time, I hope that you're packing your bags and you are living a wanderless life. We will talk to you soon. Bye.